This is where sports meets culture, confidence, and the conversation. Welcome to the Sports Girlie podcast, the space where we break down the game beyond the scoreboard. Hosted by sports media multi-hyphenate Janae Robinson. That's me. And this is where athletes, creators, professionals, and fans come to talk identity, ambition, and what it really means to own your game. From the Caribbean to the world, this is the Sports Girlie podcast. Hey guys, welcome back to the Sports Girlie podcast, where we make sports make sense and look cute doing it. If you blinked this week, you probably missed half of what was happening in Jamaican sports. From football shake-ups to track standouts to the money conversations nobody really wants to have. We're getting into all of it. This is your official Sports Girlie weekly rundown. No boring headlines, just real analysis, some smart takes, and a little spice. And I know you guys missed us last week, but my apologies. Now we're here, and this week should be even more exciting. So, let's get into it. First things first, let's talk about who is stepping into their main character energy this week. We have to talk about the standout performance by the under-17 Reggae Boys. These boys played against Canada in their last game, and now they've qualified for the World Cup. Oh, yeah! There are players who aren't just playing well, they're playing like they understood the opportunity. And I think for Jamaicans, this was just a big moment for us. And I think that's the difference. Players showing up and showing out. The Nolans, the Jamon Lyles, the Jason Edwards, all of these boys who we've probably seen them come through the system, whether it's the schoolboy football system or the Jamaica Premier League system. These players are just simply showing up, while others are building a resume. And you can see it in the body language, the confidence, the decision-making, and the consistency of the boys in yesterday's match. Now, here's the real question. Are clubs and sponsors paying attention early enough? Because these are the conversations that we should be having from early. When you can develop youth from an early stage, and I know advocates who are very strong and passionate about youth development, when you focus in on them at a young age, the possibilities are endless for them as the years go by. And for me, I'm excited to see not only what will these boys be doing in the next year, 2 years, 3 years, but these are the U17 Reggae Boys, which means that eventually they'll be the Reggae Boys. So the future of Jamaica's football is just in great hands. And I say this to say, Jamaican talent is never the issue, right? Structure and visibility is where the conversation begins. So for me, congratulations to the boys. And I'm just hoping that now we can have a more keen eye into their talents and the experience that they have and the knowledge that they have, because this is a big deal for Jamaica at the top of the year. Now, you already know, Jamaica and track are basically married. We're seeing athletes sharpening up, adjusting seasons, and managing injuries, preparing for the bigger stages. But here's what I'm watching. Who is building momentum early? Now, this week, we have Camperdown Classics on Saturday, and a lot of our elite runners will be running. The Oblique Sevilles, the Akira Nugents, the Malik James Kings, and this is where we get to see their talent on showcase. The last time a lot of us would have seen our elite athletes, I think, let me backtrack a little bit. Earlier this season, we saw Tia Clayton run, and this is as it relates to the senior athletes. We saw just different performances, they're just opening their seasons, for lack of a better word. The indoor season is about to start, or has started, and this is opportunities for the athletes to get back into their groove. There's no major championship this year, I think just ultimate championships. So it gives these athletes time to sharpen up. I see Daniel Williams running a 60-meter hurdles time. But yeah, the point is, a lot of things are happening in the world of track and field. And just to scale it down to a more common knowledge, track and field on the school level is in full swing. We've had a lot of meets happening. The Youngster Ghost meets happened last week. I attended the corporate area champs launch, which means that Eastern champs is going to happen, Western champs is going to happen, Central champs is going to happen. And those are exciting things because now we get to see across the island what is the talent that we have, especially considering the fact that Hurricane Melissa had passed and just a lot of things had been happening, you know. Now we get to see our athletes in full swing. And momentum in track is really psychological, right? So the athletes start stringing things together, the strong performances, even before the championships, it shifts the perception of whatever they're doing, the sport and them. And perception in sports equals market value. Let's not pretend that it doesn't. For me, I'm excited to see what's happening this week at Camperdown Classics, what will happen next week at Corporate Era Championships, and what will happen the week after at Gibson McCook Relays, because now we're coming down to the busy end of the season, right? It's over a month from now. We'll be having the Easter Boys and Girls Championships, and anybody knows anything about champs, this is like the carnival of track and field, right? So excited to see what has been happening in respects to that. Now, you guys don't really hear me talking a lot about this, but this week I am going to introduce basketball into the chat, right? So the Jamaica basketball team, national men's basketball team, I should say, will be playing against Bahamas on Thursday, the 26th at the National Indoor Stadium, and then they'll be playing against Canada on the 1st of March. So this is our opportunity to support the boys. I think Basketball Jamaica has been doing an excellent job. And for me, I am just really excited to see what these boys will be doing. They've played the qualifiers and they've been doing really well. They played against Puerto Rico. The scoreline was 92-90. Jamaica winning that encounter. And played against them again, winning 97-92. So for me, I'm really excited to see the boys at the National Indoor Center. I think you guys should go and grab your tickets because for me, they're reasonable. And it's just our opportunity to show out for the boys. Now I'm going to move on to a little bit of surfboarding. And let you guys know that Jamaica offers a growing year-round surfing scene. Yes, they have the Jamnesia Sports Club that's in Bull Bay, which is near to Kingston, and Boston Bay in Portland, right? These places usually have beginner-friendly waves, so it's just prime areas for, you know, the surfers to go and swim. And the best times, well, surf, I should say, and the best times for surfing are between December and February. So now is the time, if you have nothing to do early in the morning, you can go out there and just see what our surfboarders are going on with. I think it's an exciting opportunity. And who doesn't like surfboarding, right? Now we're going to move on to some tennis. And we have the Davis Cup Clash coming up very soon, right? This is the World Group 2 playoff between host Jamaica and Uruguay. And they did a draw about, say, 5 days ago at the Legany Club in New Kingston. And I think this will be exciting. We'll be seeing, well, they said first up on the court will be Roland Phillips, right? And he is the winningest player. He'll take on the 344th ranked Franco Roncadali. So I say it? Roncadali, right? And at 11 p.m., they were followed by Jamaica's number one, Blaze Bicknell, battling the Queen Aguilera. So, and there are more fixtures for the day. These are exciting things coming up for tennis in Jamaica. I love to watch tennis, as in big up Coco Gauff and Serena and Venus and all these girls. Like, I think people think that tennis is easy, but it's not. And it takes a lot of strength, a lot of focus, a lot of mobility. For me, that's just a huge, huge deal. Now we're going to move on to our netballers. Jamaica Sunshine Girls played Australia about a week ago on February 8th, and they kicked off the Jamaican series, the tough opener, falling 72-41. To be very honest with you, I think that our Sunshine Girls are an immaculate set of women. I think they represent our country very well. And I think it's not a true reflection, the scoreline not a true reflection of our talent. I think as years goes by, we're also going through a change in netball. A lot of younger girls are coming up, and I think we should give our girls some grace, continue to support them, continue to invest in our young girls, because this is just the opportunity for that. Now, let's talk about something. We need to talk about consistency in Jamaican sports, not from athletes, but from administration, systems, and leadership. When we see every season approach, we see the same pattern. Talents rise, talents shine, talents leave. And we celebrate the leaving. But what are we really building locally? If Jamaican sport is going to evolve, we have to, imperative on the have to, improve our structure, improve our branding, and improve our monetization. Because athletes shouldn't have to choose between passion and sustainability. And I can speak from my point of view. I don't even think that's as it relates to athletes alone. I think people within sports shouldn't have to pick between passion and sustainability. I don't think we should have to choose between passion and sustainability, because sports is like one of those systems that, or niches that has so much money in it, right? And this is where we have to be honest. We don't just need better players, we need better systems. And that's sometimes uncomfortable to say, but it's the truth. And without systems and processes and means of going about things in an orderly and structured manner, we only will lead into one, either, as Jamaicans would say, bunks and ketchup, right? Or we'll kind of just be going in a loop, like we're not really improving, or we're improving on very small things and not like making some proper change. And this leads me to our next segment, which this part is what excites me. We'll talk about branding, right? Some athletes right now understand that performance gets attention, branding keeps attention. So you have players who understand that they should post consistently, show personality, engage with fans, dress well, speak confidently. And then there are players who disappear after the final whistle, right? Now, I want, and this is for the athletes, to understand that in 2026, visibility is currency. If you're an athlete or a media professional in sports, or you work in sports, and you're not building your personal brand, you are literally leaving money on the table. And this is why. Media training matters. PR matters. Image matters. Because sponsors are not just investing in speed or goals. They're investing in a story. And the athletes who understand story, they are going to win long term. And that even goes for professionals in the space. Nobody's going to invest in what you're doing if there's no storyline behind it. Let's look at the Sports Girlie tour for a matter of fact. One day I'll give you guys a story of how it all started. But the story behind Sports Girlie is what made sponsors buy into supporting the tour and impacting the students island-wide to teach them these things, right? So I think that this year we should focus a lot on it. And at the end, if you stick around to the end, I give you some information for you athletes or people interested in the space and for some opportunities associated to the Sports Girlie. Okay, don't get mad. Here's my hot take. The next wave of Jamaican sports stars will not just be the most talented. they will be the most media ready, the most confident, the most camera comfortable, the most brand aware. And I'm not just saying that talent doesn't matter. I'm saying talent alone is no longer enough. The global sports industry is content driven. Let's look at the likes of the Shakaris, the Noah Lyles, who can I talk about? Even the Coco Gauffs and the Serena and Venus that I mentioned earlier. These girls are doing campaigns with major brands, whether it's Skims, whether it's Fenty, whether it's like, these are the things that I think our little island of Jamaica deserves. We deserve to be in positions where we're getting global sports industry opportunities. If you can't communicate, market, and position yourself, someone else will take your spot. And that's the reality of the landscape of sports right now. There's more to just the athleticism. And don't get me wrong, because I remember, we have to take into account everything. I used to be an athlete, and sometimes the coach didn't care about with the bag of camera, because it's time to focus on training. This is where discipline comes into play. You have to start treating yourself like you are a professional. There's time for media, there's time for training, there's time for rehab, there's time for rest. And that is a concept I think we have to understand now. And even if you aren't an athlete, and let's say you are the wife or the girlfriend of an athlete, you have to understand that there's time and place for certain things, right? It's not just a regular person with a 9 to 5 that may have all the time in the world on their hands. And even they don't have all the time in the world on their hands. Time and place for everything. And as it relates to media professionals or people that work in sports, your brand is also important because everybody plays a part, right? Without the athletes, we media professionals don't have no job because there's nothing to talk about, right? But we also have to brand ourselves so that these athletes feel comfortable enough to want to speak with us. Now, here's what I'm predicting. A young footballer is about to explode into mainstream attention this season, and it won't be who everyone expects. My second prediction, a track athlete is currently flying under the radar, who is about to put together a performance that shifts the conversation. And lastly, brands. They are going to start looking more intentionally at personality and not just at podiums. So, watch this space. And with all that being said, that's your Sports Girlie Weekly Rundown. If you enjoyed this format, let me know. This is something new that I'm trying to bring in. Also, I'm going to apologize again for missing last week. Some of you guys have been reaching out to me saying, where's the podcast? Where's the podcast? There had been some difficulties last week, so we're making up with it this week. And yeah, just let me know if you enjoyed this format, because I can make this a regular thing, right? Drop your hot takes in the comments, send it to @the.sportsgirlie on Instagram, and just let me know who's overrated, who's underrated, and who should I be watching. And if you're an athlete listening right now, build your brand. Like seriously, build your brand, right? Before I close, I'd like you guys to know that the Sports Girlie Masterclass is something that everything that I would have spoken about today as it relates to all aspects of the sports ecosystem is what we'll be talking about on the masterclass, but more in depth. It's something that I encourage you guys to register. We have 3 tiers: the starter, the pro, and the elite, right? You can register now, and you can look for it in the link in my bio. Register, it'll be on Zoom, so you can do it from the comfort of your home, your car, anywhere you are in the world. And let's just have some real deep conversations. Ask uncomfortable questions, because that's what this is all about. So, as usual, I'm Jenny Robinson, the Sports Girlie, forever evolving in the world of sports. See you in the next episode. That was the Sports Girlie podcast. If this conversation spoke to you, don't keep it to yourself. Share it, subscribe, and leave a review. Follow us on all platforms @the Sports Girlie for more conversations that go beyond the game. Until next time, stay confident, stay evolving, and always own your game.